everybody, welcome back to Under the Hood, the show that talks about what Orbee's building and why we're building it. Today we're talking about data lakes. Now, because the term customer data platform has been growing, you also see data lake come up a lot as well. So Atul, I wanted to ask you, what is a data lake, and is a CDP, are they interchangeable? Just kind of break that down for me.
Okay. Yeah, this is great. It's a great topic. And I feel that there is obviously so many components out there in just software, right? When you think about even the number one, I would say the number one data lake company, a company called Snowflake, is publicly traded. Okay. And these guys have had just an amazing run for a while. Like it's kind of back down, but Snowflake is worth $43 billion, right? And they talk about providing cloud-based data, cloud storage, and analytics solutions, data as a service. And so one of the things that a data lake, one purpose it serves is the ability to store external data, right? And sync it. But there's a very important difference to how it might have been done in this industry for a while, right? So I'm going to kind of share my screen here and just kind of pop into the ability to kind of draw what this means. So if I'm actually a system, so let's say I've got, a CRM system, a DMS system, and a sort of a CDP, or no, well, we won't even use that term to confuse it, but all of the leads or lead management system. What ends up happening in this kind of model here is that this data usually has a flat file merged into a data set. So you might have first name, last name, phone number, etc. And same goes with DMS or CRM. You might have all this data, like let's say you had RO information. So it's like RO number, amount, et cetera, et cetera. So you have all these data scenarios that are coming in, but it's a lot of times it's a flat file. So it's just one long row. But we know that in databases, the whole purpose of a database is the schema. So when you have the actual appointments here, and then you have your tasks, and then you have the actual contact records, and then you have your orders. And so what Orbee does, and really any data lake should do, is actually take every single raw table and understand how these actually link together so that you can replicate the entire SQL query that you are actually trying to build an audience from. So, you should be able to connect all the tables from your CRM. So you could have, 50 tables. I'd love to show you, but, there's some examples I think we could probably share in a subsequent meeting. And then you got your DMS with all of its tables. And then you've got your, marketing company trying to take some of that data. And everyone has all of these data sets. But now what you're able to do is connect these various data sets into that single profile. So the data lake's purpose is really to replicate all of the tables from their original source and allow that all of those tables connect with each other. And then you have the introduction of what you might, see Brian Pash talks about this most recently around identities. So in one database, you might be known as ID 123. In another system, you might be like a 456. Well, a data lake or a CDP, more importantly, is the one that says, for this data source, it's this number. And from that data source, it's that number, but it's the same person. So that's why pulling in more and more data, heck, we're introducing the ability to pull in Google spreadsheets. We're launching a new thing called Orbee file system. That's going to be a secure file folder where you can put any of your information and it will ingest the entire schema. And as long as you could join and connect the data from to the other sources, you'll be able to add that to the query.
So does the dealer need to worry about how they're going to figure out how to join that data
No, that's the exciting thing. So if you like kind of look at my screen here, I'll just kind of jump into a interesting example of how this all comes together. And basically, when I build an audience, I'm effectively building the audience from one of my connectors in the data lake. And then I'm going to go ahead and call this, podcast under the hood. And then I'm going to go ahead and build a custom criteria. But notice here, what's interesting is imagine when the criteria, like what kind of vehicle did someone buy? All of these fields, Chris, are actually the columns of one of the tables or the combination of multiple tables. So a sales event doesn't just come from one table. It comes from the fact that 6 or 7 different tables are being joined together in real time to allow for me to say when the vehicle sale was in the last 30 days and what they bought was this, and they've chosen to opt out and they didn't visit my website. Oh, and by the way, if they did visit the website, did they look at the car that they currently have in their garage? Oh, and can I get garage verification data from Experian or somewhere else? And so all of this is being tied together into a single capability. And yeah, of course, we do a lot of query building, our amazing data and reporting team, but we are building some really easy to use UIs or user interfaces for that. But then we're also going to be launching some more obvious ones that the mid and long tail dealer body that doesn't want to think too hard could take the learnings that the data is uncovering and just say, do this to this group of people.
It's interesting, like the companies like Snowflake and those other data lakes.
Fivetran is another one.
You see that they talk about this capability, but you don't hardly ever see the UI that comes with it.
Well, look, Snowflake is made for developers, for CEOs,
right?
Kind of CMOs, but I will tell you what meetings we enjoy having is when the CTO and the CMO or the equivalent, right, the head of technology or IT or the head of marketing are in the same room. And that's actually the struggle with outside of auto capabilities is they're so big and generic that the work it takes applying it to automotive is just it's a lot. And that's why you need very specific segmented roles to use each of those, whereby Orbee wants to be sort of a middle ground for all of these parties inside of a dealership to coexist in a single system, all focused on customer experience. So we're almost middleware for the people just as much as we are for the systems.
Right. Well, I think that wraps it up for data lakes. Quick intro. If you want to learn more, please visit our website, schedule a demo with us, or just DM a tool on LinkedIn. You could go all day talking about this stuff. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.